White men love natural hair.
I've woken up with my hair just stuck up from being asleep, and I won't really touch it for most of the day, and he will make me feel like the most beautiful person in the world.
Oh, so fabulous.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel once again. It's your girl Dumebi. If this is your first time coming across my channel, you're welcome. I do hope you decide to subscribe, and if you are a returning subscriber, you guys know that I love you. It's so good to have you here. Welcome back. So today's video is something interesting. You guys were going over to the interracial couples, you know. So I came across this video that was made by a black woman. You know what, let me just go right ahead and play her video.
So the joke that's going around TikTok about you can tell if a black woman is married to a white man based on how her hair looks is kind of funny, I'm not gonna lie. But as a woman who is black herself and is also married to a white guy, I have a theory as to why this might be the case. Quick disclaimer, this is all anecdotal based on my personal experience. There's no data or evidence to back up these claims whatsoever, so please take it with that in mind. When I got married to my husband, we moved to Michigan and we didn't have any family out here or any friends. So I basically had to rebuild my life. And a big part of rebuilding your life as a black woman is finding someone who can do your hair, especially if you can't do your hair yourself. Like I can do a ponytail, I can do a flat twist, but I can't do anything else. And we live in a place in Michigan where there's not a lot of black people. And therein lies my theory. When black women marry white men and they move to those communities that are largely white, they don't have anyone to do their hair. So it looks messed up.
So I think that was an interesting topic of discourse, and a lot of other black women that are dating, you know, non-black men also jumped on that video and made their stitches, and a lot of them agreed with her. You know what, let me just go right ahead and play their videos.
If a black woman is married to a white man based on how her hair looks is kind of fun.
I used to actively be aware of women that have white husbands. Like I would just look at them and be like, there's something about them that just tells me that they have a white husband. And then fast forward a few years later, I'm living in France with a white man. And the thing is, let me explain, okay? Here's the thing. We live in an area where I think I'm the only black person. Like I've seen one or two black kids, but And the thing is, I went to the local supermarket and there will literally be like nothing for black women, like hair products, face, everything, nothing. And then that makes me, you know, look online, like where's the nearest salon for people like me? And then it's like 75 kilometers away. And I have to think like, do I really want to take 2 trains for a hair appointment and pay like €6 per packet for hair? Or am I just gonna order online on AliExpress and then do my own hair? And this is the result, where someone can definitely recognize that, yeah, that's the thing, like there's just no one there to do like hair. And it's a whole different situation. I was still with my husband, then boyfriend, when I was in South Africa. Like my hair was slayed because like obviously my sisters, salons, everything was there. But as soon as I moved here, like my hair journey, I had dreadlocks. I had to cut them off because it's like no one who's gonna crochet my hair. The nearest salon is in Paris. I'm in the south of France. What are we gonna do about that? And I'm really thinking of getting my dreadlocks back, but like it's a thing that I have to like think about and be like, okay, I have to learn how to crochet my own hair. It's a yeah. But then another thing is that my white husband, he like really encourages like messy hair. Like he doesn't know the difference. Like my hair would be looking like a mess, and he'd be like, no, you're so beautiful. I'm like, girl, you don't know.
You can tell if a black woman is married to a white man based on how her hair looks.
Auntie onto something. And let me add my own little 2-piece to what Auntie's saying. When white men marry black women, you see the combinations not as frequently as you see the white woman black man combination. But when you see the white man black woman combination, the white man be marrying like the blackest black woman they can find. It's like she got 4C hair, dark skin, like sister, you know, undisputably black. And white men love natural hair. I married a white man. And he met me when I had locks for the second time. And I've combed out my locks since then. And I got in a fade. I've been bald headed. I'm growing my hair out. My husband is the biggest encourager of me wearing my hair natural. He's like, babe, please wear it out. Please, like, leave the braids alone. Leave the weave alone. Wear your hair out. And I'm like, why do white people like black hair so much? And look, the hair care products behind me. he also has curly hair himself, and he uses like Shea Moisture, and he likes to use my products too. He likes to test them out. So my theory is, you can tell when a black woman is with a white guy if she got that like fake weave, shiny weave that don't know what she doing. But also, sometimes you can't. I am a black woman married to a white man. You wouldn't know unless he was standing next to me.
Based on how her hair looks.
So this woman's saying something very interesting. She's talking about like this whole idea or quote joke that you can tell a black woman is married to a white man based on how her hair looks. They're like, oh, you know, they're the ones with the bad wigs or whatever. I disagree. I just think it's a combination of things. I think it's a combination of social things. But the most important factor is that white men don't expect you to overperform. You know, I just think it's so funny that, you know, this joke is going around. Oh, yeah, those are the women in the bad wigs or whatever. Isn't it funny how the women who are in the perfect wigs with the perfect makeup and whatnot aren't getting any advantage from black men? I think that's the real joke. The women with the laid edges who look perfect and getting the BBLs and whatnot, all they're getting is made into baby mamas. So I think that's the real joke. And it's not a slight, but I think it's so interesting that from birth, black women are told they have to overperform for the attention of black men, and it literally nets you nothing. So how funny is that? So I am a black woman, and, you know, once upon a time I was a black girl, and I also taught fifth grade, with all black students. And it starts from when you were a child. It's black men enforcing this standard that the way your hair naturally grows out of your head is not enough. It's not good enough. And it's them requiring this, you know, standard of hyper straight hair or hyper looking, you know, perfection or whatever. I remember when the second wave of the natural hair movement first started in the 2000s, and, you know, guys were like, oh yeah, it's only okay to wear your hair natural if you got curls like Tracy Ellis Ross, whatever. Like, it's them who are enforcing texturism and colorism and all this stuff. So yeah, this whole idea of, oh yeah, take her swimming on the first date and all that. The only point in enforcing a standard that the vast majority of black women could never meet, of either having straight hair that is carefree and effortless that you can get wet without a problem, or having a hair texture that most black women who are phenotypically black 100% could never meet. The only reason to do that would be to be able to exclude black women from your dating pool. Like, just say you like white women and go. But by creating this impossible standard, you're trying to say they're naturally inferior.
Based on how her hair looks.
This is a super interesting thing to me, because there are all kinds of little jokes about black women who are married to white men having like bad wigs. And by bad wigs, I mean, you can either tell like it's a cheap wig, or like their weave isn't right. Like, you can see new growth, blah, blah, blah. The thing that has always stood out to me when I was dating, and I dated lots of different ethnicities of men, was that black men were the only men who made comments about how I should change myself and my look. And the ironic thing is that I have natural hair. I've been keeping my hair braided because I fuck the color, and it's like all kinds of fuck up the color. But when I was natural and I was dating and I would date black men, so many of them would try and suggest to me gently how I should change my hair and be different. And absolutely every time it was, you should straighten your hair. You would be so much prettier. You know, you'd look more exotic if. And these standards that they had was almost always just, I feel like, for black women. And black women have adopted these things because a lot of times what we say is like, it's white supremacy, it's this, that, and that. And of course, a bit of that is that. But whenever I dated non-black men, I never got comments about how I should change myself. Specifically, how I would change myself to fit a more European kind of beauty standard. And this isn't really about what black men do, but how black women have internalized this idea that we need to look and be a certain way, especially our hair, because it's such a big deal and has been, especially in the United States. Because coming to Europe, I have found that Europeans generally have no idea what our hair is supposed to do or what it looks like. They have no fucking clue. And I remember, this is a quick story, I was babysitting a friend's daughter unexpectedly for days, and I had to do her hair. And my biggest concern was that I was going to send her to school with fucked up hair, and someone's going to judge my lack of skills with like daughters, because I don't have girls. And I honestly don't even know where it came from, like the stress that I put myself under. But her dad is white and her mom is black. But her dad later was like, girl, don't worry about it. Who cares? And even now, like my partner, besides my hair looking like the Joker because it's kind of green, he doesn't care what I do with my hair. I just really want Black women to think about that.
A Black woman is married to a white.
Y'all, nothing works harder than the TikTok algorithm, because the way how this spoke to me, same here, like 10 years ago when I met my husband, I was living in Miami. We had Dominicans, hairdressers on every block. I could get my hair done for like $25, and I moved to like Dallas, but like the suburbs of Dallas, and it's never been the same. It's never been the same.
Woman is married to a white man.
I think that this is a really interesting discussion that's happening on TikTok amongst Black women. And if you know anything about Black women, you know that our hair is a very hot topic. It can also be a very sensitive topic. And her point was saying that a lot of the times, like, you move into a more predominantly white area, and therefore there's not like a lot of stylists around you that can help doing your hair, especially if you're somebody who doesn't know how to do your hair already. And while I think that's a very valid point, I think that there's another really big point to this, which is that because white men did not grow up a lot of Black women, or maybe if they did, they just don't care about your hair the same way that Black men do. Like, when I was younger, I will never forget, I had really liked this guy, a Black guy, and I had just gone to this transition of doing the big chop, and I now had short natural hair, and this was before natural hair was like popular. And I was wearing a hat because it was cold and I was still kind of getting comfortable with having such short hair. And I went to go visit him. We were like, he was in college, and so I went to his dorm and I had to take a picture and I had to take the hat off. And I shit you not, he saw my hair, I saw the look in his eyes, and we hung out that day. And then we never hung out again, never talked to me. He was like, I used to have like extensions in, and then he saw the natural hair and he was out. Now fast forward a few years and I started dating white guys, and I remember the first white guy I ever dated, and I was dealing kind of with my natural hair, and I think maybe I was straight when I met him, but I was explaining to him, and I just thought, you know what, I'm just gonna face this head on, because I don't want to be like in that situation again, because that really, really crushed me and my confidence for a little bit. And I remember like showing it, he came in the bathroom, and this man studied and dissected what I was doing so that he could help me the next time. He also was like, you know, if we ever had a daughter, I want to know like what goes into doing her hair so that I can be like an active parent and also help with her hair. When I tell you that my heart melted and broke into a million pieces, and I think I might have almost cried, but I just remember him giving me a big hug, and he was like, it's okay. Like, he was like, I love you. Like, I want to be with you, and this is a part of who you are. So I have continued to date outside of my race, and I have a lot less anxiety around my hair. I think because there is somewhat of a curiosity from like not Black people about Black people's hair, that there's less criticism about it versus when somebody knows about the hair. The few comments I've gotten about my hair on this app have been from Black men, because Black men always have something to say about Black women and what we're doing. So I think kind of a takeaway from this too is like, you can tell she's with a white man, but also I think you can tell that she's well loved because she's not stressing herself about it 24/7.
On how her hair looks.
So I've not seen the jokes about Black women being married to white men and having apparently not great looking hair, but I'm currently sat, it's like 7 o'clock in the morning, 7:30 in the morning, deep conditioning my hair and getting ready to get it sorted for the weekend. And what made me laugh and want to stitch this is the fact that I think something that people don't realise is that when I agree with what the creator was saying anyway, that normally when Black women end up with white men, you normally end up being somewhere where it's predominantly white, and I'm in the same position. I'm in Northern Ireland. But what makes me laugh is the fact that actually in my experience, my partners have doted on my hair and me and however I look, but G specifically loves me no matter how weird my hair looks, how terrible everything looks. Like, I walk around sometimes and I'll have woken up with my hair just stuck up from being asleep, and I won't really touch it for most of the day, and he will make me feel like the most beautiful person in the world. He has been doing research for me because I always complain, like, oh, I need to find somewhere to do my hair because my old place, like, it just, the woman, like, and what she charged for some of the stuff she was doing, I was like, And then also having to, like, fight for spots and, like, trying to get the first appointment so that you wouldn't be sat waiting for hours, all of that. And he recently found, and I'm going to tag her here actually, so if you're in Northern Ireland, this is going to be my new hairdresser, but he's done all of the research. He does the research. He currently helps me with wash days. He oils my scalp. He's learned how to do everything just to make it easier to manage my hair. But that's because he takes a genuine interest and he loves me no matter how it looks. So I've never felt the pressure to make sure it looks the way my mum wants it to look, but it's actually allowing me to then have my afro out, try different things, and now find this hairdresser that hopefully for half of the year I'll just have my hair in braids, or actually he doesn't even, like, he's not a big fan of having weaves. He's very much have your natural hair, like, learn what to do, and if you don't want to do it, I'll do it for you. So yeah, these men aren't as funny as you guys think they are. They're actually quite amazing.
Based on how...
Okay, y'all, what she's saying is somewhat true, but not always true, because I'm married to a white man and he loved when I switch it up. Like, I get my hair slayed. I do have to do my own hair because I'm not paying them prices. But I think it's changing too, because I'm seeing a lot more like interracial couples where the bitch got their hair slayed. So I think is certain types of white men that only like, you know, the 4C hair and the braids and looking like, you know, African, blackest of the black. But I think it just depends on you and your style, because one day I want to wear my hair out, one day I want to switch it up, one day I want to do this, one day I want to do that, and he likes whatever I do.
Married to a white man based on how her hair looks.
I feel so called out right now, but look at my hair. I'm not gonna lie, I see a lot of these interracial couples on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok, and they always have quite a following. I think that's like the new in thing now. And yes, this thing that this woman said, I kind of noticed it. Like, a lot of the black women that get with white men, these white men choose like the blackest of black, like really dark skin, mostly like 4C hair, very African, bootylicious, all of that stuff, like as African, as black as possible. But I've also seen like another YouTube channel discuss men who were in interracial relationships with white women also having like a funny hairline. I don't know if that's a real thing, but they gave examples. I think I saw Childish Gambino in one of the, I didn't even know he was like dating outside the black race. But I don't know, do you guys think that's true? Now, a lot of the points those women made in their videos are true. Truly, it makes sense that if they were to move to like a predominantly white neighborhood, they obviously don't have black people to make their hair. It makes sense. And then the men also encourage them to be as natural as possible. But I think it also comes from them not really knowing what is trendy. So they could see your hair looking a certain way that, you know, we black people are like, oh girl, you need to do something about your hair. But to this man is like, oh, it's beautiful. He's accepted the fact that your hair is different from his hair. Your hair is going to defy gravity. Your hair is going to look that way, look this way. So he's already accepted the fact that your hair is going to look a different way every day, and he loves it that way. And I've actually heard accounts of some really dark-skinned women talking about how they have to extend their dating pool beyond just black men, because a lot of the black men are colorists, but the white men usually like them in their element, like with their dark skin, with their 4C hair. They don't even have to style it, they don't have to wear weaves and all of that, that these white men usually even like are gushing over them, as opposed to black men who probably prefer like maybe a lighter skinned woman, or the preference, or the racially ambiguous woman, it could easily get mistaken to be that these palm-colored men that these women are getting with are more accepting of their African features. So the question now is it that these men are more accepting of these African features than our black men? Or is it that these men are ignorant, so they don't really know what is fashionable when it comes to black hair, or what is trendy, or in quote, what is considered looking good? So they just basically accept anything. So is it the ignorance, or is it the fact that they love our black features more than our black men? I think that's a subject for discourse. I'd like to know what you guys think about that in the comment section. No hate to our black men, please. This video is not directed to, you know, kind of propel any kind of hate towards our black men. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, basically, if we were to get into it, what do you think is the reason why these women are comfortable with their hair looking a certain way when they are with white men than when they are with black men? What do you guys think is the real reason? Let me know in the comment section. And if you're in an interracial relationship as well, do you see yourself kind of slacking off in some areas just because your partner doesn't really know much about how your hair should look, or maybe your fashion sense, like you see yourself slacking off, like you don't have to dress a certain way or do your hair a certain way like you would have had to if you were in a relationship with someone of your race? Do you see yourself slacking off, or is it just something that these people are trying to make up on the internet, like in this video that we're talking about today? You guys let me know. Is it a real thing that happens? Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.